Hi, everyone. My name's Kathy Brooks. It should have been Kathy Collageras, but my parents, or my father's parents, decided to change the name when they came to the United States in the 1940s from Collageras to Brooks. Don't ask. There's supposedly a story about an uncle that was a wrestler or fighter and they called him Big Bill Brooks. Okay, we'll go with that. But here is why I am here. I have a passion. I'm a Greek American with a deep passion and deep love for Greece. After countless trips exploring the country, I want to share all I can with you. There's so much to know, so much to learn, so many do's and don'ts. And believe me, I've figured out the don'ts. Not all of them probably, but a lot of them. That I want to help you have the perfect trip to Greece. Welcome to Beyond the Empty Nest. I'm Kathy Brooks. Let's get started on this. My father was born in Greece in a little village called Naupaktos, and he was raised there till he was 12 years old. When his family were immigrants and they headed over to the United States of America and landed in Wilmington, Ohio. My mother's family, they came around the same time, earlier. They came earlier. They came in like the 20s and 30s. But they came from the Peloponnese side of Greece, and they landed in Cincinnati, Ohio. So anyway, that's my history. Big fat Greek family for sure. Lots and lots of cousins. Most of them are still in Ohio. And then there's us, and we're in California. So I decided that I was going to explore Greece because you know why? You want to know why? Because my grandson, who now is 7, in 2018, he went to Greece with his parents, my daughter, who had never been to Greece either. So I was like, oh, no. My grandson at 1 year old is making it to Greece and I haven't made it to Greece yet. Okay, we're not doing that. I am going to Greece. So coincidentally, right after that, my cousin Annie, who lived in Florida, her daughter decided she was going to take her to Greece, her adult daughter. So she invited me to come along. So I decided to come along, and one of my friends went with me. And that was my first experience in Greece. And I absolutely fell in love with Greece. We landed in Athens. We spent 3 beautiful days there exploring, seeing the Acropolis, the Parthenon. It was incredible. So much history and so much to see. It was magical just to be there on my ancestors' homeland. It felt like home, very interestingly enough. It felt like home. It drew me in. So we did our few days in Athens, and then we rented a car and we drove across the country to the Ionian side, and we got a flat tire along the way, which was a little bit of an experience. And there's a video on that if you go back to my older videos. But we wound up in the village that my dad is from, Naupaktos, and I was amazed. It is on the Ionian Sea, and there's a castle on the hill. It was incredible. It was nothing like I expected. My dad growing up, he'd be like, Kathy, come look at my pictures of my village I was from and blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, looks nice, whatever. 10-year-old, 9-year-old, 16-year-old, whatever. More worried about my friends and everything than where my ancestors are from or where my dad was born. Regretfully, because I miss him very much, and I wish I would have been able to go to Greece with him. He passed away. It warms my heart to be able to have been to his village and taken pictures in front of his house that he grew up in. So yeah. Anyway, he would be very happy to know I've made it there. So that trip, we did Naupaktos for 3 nights. Then we went to Lefkada, which is an island in the Ionian Sea, but you don't have to take a ferry to get there. There's a causeway, so you can drive there. Unfortunately, we only stayed there 1 night, which was ridiculous looking back. Don't stay anywhere 1 night. Don't stay anywhere 2 nights. Learn from my mistakes. 2 nights is not enough. So minimum 3 anywhere you go. So then from there, we went to Parga, and that was really interesting. It was pause. There's a coyote. So that was that trip, and we wound up going to Parga, which I said was amazing. When we left Parga, we went to the Acheron River. Acheron? I don't know how to say it. Acheron River. And it is supposedly part of the Greek mythology Styx River to Hades. So this river was amazing, gorgeous, but I wore water shoes, the wrong kind. So I wore the wrong water shoes. I wore these, and they were ridiculous. And I slipped wearing these. There's still sand in them. This is the last time I wore them. How the heck is there still sand in them? I don't know. But anyway, I wore these, and they were not the water shoes to wear whatsoever. The next time I went, I wore these. Much better. Link below. They have tread. With the first ones, when I went the first time, like a dum-dum, like I said, learn from my mistakes. Everybody now, learn from Kathy's mistakes. So I slipped, and it was very, very, very big, rocky. And there was a current, and the water was really cool. But the current really swept me, and I was hitting my tailbone and my butt on these rocks because it was shallow, but it was fast. And it was like dragging me away. And I was like, oh my God. And my friends were like, hold on to a rock. I'm like, I can't get a rock. I had the freaking camera in this hand, and I was trying to protect my ass with this hand, and I broke my finger, and it's still damaged. It's got like a little whoop. So yeah, learn from my mistakes. So always wear the good kind of water shoes. A lot of the beaches, especially on the Ionian side, I've found are actually rocky, pebbly, rocky. So you need water shoes. That was one of the big things I learned on my first trip to Greece. Now, my second trip to Greece was in 2022 because of that whole COVID nonsense that happened. We couldn't travel for a couple of years, even though I was hooked, and I couldn't wait to get back. I went with 3 of my friends, and this is what I recommend. If it's their first time to Greece, this is the actual trip I recommend. We flew into Athens and then immediately got a flight that we booked ahead of time on Aegean Airlines and took that to Santorini. It's like a 25-minute flight, and it was really pretty as we came in around the caldera. Gorgeous. So everybody should see Santorini at least once. It's literally just unbelievably like jaw-dropping. Something you would never imagine. Pictures do not do it justice. So Santorini is in your head. The Greece you think of is Santorini. The whitewashed buildings with the blue domes. The blue domes are churches. Greek Orthodox churches. The recommendation from my cousins was to stay in a Meravigli, and I really think that was the right idea. If you look at the caldera, if you look at Santorini, it's like a U shape, and you got Fira on this side, and then on the other backside or down lower side, there's some beaches and stuff. And then on this side, if you're looking out from like standing on the edge, looking out, on this side is YiaYia. YiaYia is where everybody goes for those sunsets, but the sunsets in Meravigli were absolutely incredible. It wouldn't have been any better over there, I'm telling you. But it was amazing. And 3 nights in Santorini, I highly recommend 3 nights in Santorini. Everybody should see Santorini at least once, but that's enough. Once is enough, once you've seen it. Because there's so many other places to go and so many more beautiful islands that you need to experience if you're going to go back or continue on. So then after that, we ferried and we went to Milos. And the island of Milos was incredible. It was really fun. We rented a car in Milos, but we gave it back after one day and we decided to just get rides everywhere because the hotels and restaurants were very cool about getting us rides to where we needed to be, to the beach. And then we could all have our ouzo, you know what I mean? Like, or our wine or our bubblies or whatever. So it made it nice that nobody had to be a designated driver. So Milos has a beautiful beach that's very unique. It is called Sarakaniko Beach, and it looks like the moon. It's or they call it Lunar Beach, and it's super cool. But when we were there, they had what they call the melt-to-me winds, and the melt-to-me winds are these winds that come into Greece. And we've had them every time I've gone in September. The melt-to-me winds have shown up. The problem with the melt-to-me winds is the seas get really rough and you'll get seasick if you get on the ferries with the melt-to-me winds if you're prone to seasickness. Even if you're not, poor Joan, she was puking and puking. I always have my doctor prescribe me a scopolamine patch. You can get them by prescription in the US by your doctor for seasickness. And they stay on for like 72 hours. So I use those. Made all the difference in the world. Joan was puking and I was drinking a glass of wine. And I will tell you, I get seasick. I get seasick. My very first time I was ever on a cruise ship on my 21st birthday out of Miami in February. And let's see, that would have been 1985. Yeah. And I was so sick. And I got so sunburned because I was so sick. I was laying there looking at the sky, trying to lay still. And I was seasick and sunburned. And I had to get a shot from the ship's doctor. So the scopolamine patches help really, really well. Just a tip if you're going to go on those fast ferries and rough seas do make it a terrible day. Joan had to go to sleep. She had to take an anti-nausea medicine after that and go to sleep for pretty much the rest of the day. So anyway, after Milos, which we enjoyed immensely, we went to Paros. And Paros was an unexpected pleasure to me. We stayed in Naousa, and it was very vibrant. Lots of nightlife going on, lots of people, just had a cool vibe. There's a restaurant there called Barbarossa, and you see a lot of famous people have eaten there, go there. In fact, Tom Hanks and his wife, they own she's Greek. Well, he's Greek now too. He got a citizenship. They own a house in Antiparos, which is a little island off of Paros. So people like them, and I've done videos on Paros. Go back and see my Paros video if you want to get really deep dive into Paros, because I did a vlog on Paros. And then we weren't there long enough. 2 nights. Boom, womp, womp. Not enough at all. After that, we flew back, because there's an airport in Paros. We flew back to Athens and stayed in Athens for 2 nights. Again, not long enough. And it was really, really hot. Patty got a little bit of a heat stroke going on there. We went up to the Acropolis. But hint for that, when you're in Athens, stay in Plaka. That's the area to stay in, because Athens is a city. So part of the city is very downtowny city-ish with graffiti walls and stuff. There is a lot of graffiti there. But Plaka is more shopping and pleasant and lots of shops, and the Acropolis is right there, the Parthenon. And if you don't want to go up to the Acropolis, especially if you have any mobility issues, you can go to the Acropolis Museum. It's right there. So we always stay right there in Plaka. In fact, I've stayed at the same Airbnb 3 times now, because it's literally, you go out on the veranda, balcony, whatever they call it, lanai, if you're in Hawaii, and the Parthenon's right there. It's a gorgeous view. And it's just nice because there's like street music below and people walking by, and it's not traffic. It's all foot traffic there. So that was really, really cool. Mobility is an issue in Santorini as well, actually everywhere. But if you're in a wheelchair or anything, it's not the place to go. But it's just cobblestone and uneven sidewalks. It is not made. It's old, and it's not made for people that can't get around very easy, unfortunately, because the cruise ships go in there, and there's a lot of elderly people on cruise ships. My advice to everybody is, after they do this initial, round of their first time to Greece, next time, go where the cruise ships don't go. That's my advice. Because it makes a difference where all the crowds and the cruise ships go. And there's better places. I won't go to Mykonos. I have no desire. Maybe someday, if there's something going on, I get invited to something there, but I have no desire to go to Mykonos. Now, if you're young and you want to go dance and party and spend more money on alcohol and food, go. I mean, I'm sure it's lovely, and it used to be very lovely, but it became a very, very, very high young people party destination. And for me, as an empty nester, I'm good. I don't need to go there because remember, there's like 6,000 islands and 220 of them are inhabited and you can visit. So I will not see all of Greece in my lifetime. That's for sure. Especially because I started so late. My grandson might. He started a lot earlier than me. Lucky duck. So yeah, so then Athens, and then we flew home. Now, the next time I went to Greece was in 2023, and I took my youngest son, who was 24 at the time. And we went to Santorini because he really wanted to go to Santorini, but he didn't like Santorini so much. He felt like it was all couples. He felt out of place. And I was with my one girlfriend. And apparently, in his head at 24, he said something like, people are going to think I'm with my lesbian moms. I'm like, what happened to friends being able to hang out together? Girlfriends, like my whole life, I just hung out with a friend or two or whatever. Like, what? So I don't know. I know it's a more accepting world these days, and people are, and I have nothing. I have the best gay friends on the planet. I would go anywhere with a gay couple. I loved when I was a flight attendant, my gay guy friends, and I still have them. They're all still there. But the fact that my son was like 24, I'm like, oh my gosh, Michael, that is the dumbest thing ever. But anyway, he didn't love Santorini because it was all couples. And apparently he felt like he was a third wheel with his mom and her friend, who is my friend. I like guys. But he would have felt like that if I was with a guy, though, too, I'm sure. Just being third wheel if it's all coupled up, So anyway, he wanted to see it. We saw it. Then we went to Naxos. Oh my gosh, Naxos. Naxos is incredible. Okay, go.
Greece is beautiful.
There you go. You definitely should see Naxos. I've gone there twice now, and Naxos has a lot to see, and it has I'm not even going to get into all of it because you can go back and see my Naxos video. I have one. I can link it below. It's in my playlist. So we did Naxos for 5 nights. And then my son did go home. And then we did Kofinicia, which is a little island in the smaller Cyclades. Cyclades. I don't know. I say it wrong probably. But it was really, really cool. That was another one. And I have a whole video on Kofinicia. So I'm trying to get to the point of the things you need to know, but I'm giving you a little roundabout about where I've gone and why and what I liked about those places. And I think it's helpful. So then after Kofinicia, we went back to Athens and we bought jewelry. We went to Demos Jewelers and oh my gosh, you guys, I got this time. That time I got this ring and a bracelet that I don't have on that matches. But anyway, Steve Demos is wonderful. He has 2 jewelry shops in Plaka area. Go see him if you want fine jewelry at great prices, but not cheap. It's not cheap. You're still going to spend money on jewelry, but nothing like you would spend here. And he'll make custom jewelry and that kind of stuff too. So, and then we stayed there for a couple nights and then we came home. Then this year, 2024, I went to my cousin's wedding, which was, it was super cool. Loved it. It was beautiful. We flew into Athens. We stayed in Lake Vulimini. I have a whole video on Lake Vulimini. And that was so cool. You should look at that place. It's like I guess it's a cave. The ground caved in and underneath was a big lake and it's right next to the water. So it's beautiful. It's supposed to have healing properties. You can rent cabanas there, and you can also get the first come, first serve chairs, and they serve food and drinks to you, and you can swim in there, and there's all kinds of really cool stories about that. I have a whole video on that. And then after the wedding and like Vulimani, we went to Naxos, and a bunch of my cousins were there. So we had a wonderful time in Naxos. Again, I have a whole video coming out on this trip that isn't even done yet, but there are bits and pieces of it out there, especially our day on Jason Cruise's boat day all day. So that was really fun. They were cliff jumping and we swam in a sea cave. It was really, really great. Okay, so that is where I've been and a little bit about those places. Now, as far as transportation goes, let's talk about Athens. When you get to Athens, you can take the metro. You can take the metro down into Plaka, and it would be your most reasonable way to go. But be very, very careful on the metro and at the Acropolis and walking around. There are pickpockets in Greece. These are gypsy people that come in, they look for tourists, and they will pickpocket you. I just heard a story of somebody actually, the one that they work in teams. So the one pickpocket guy acted like he was going to get his foot stuck or somebody to help him, or he tripped. And then somebody went to help him and they were able, and then the other person stole their wallet. And they'll steal your passport, your wallet, everything. There's a purse that I bought on Amazon, and I could put the link, and it comes in different colors, and it's like over the shoulder, strap purse, and it has lots of pockets, but it's also slash proof, and you can get pockets way down in there for your valuables and stuff so they can't get to it. It also has locks, so you can lock each clip to itself so they can't just pull it off of you. Like you can lock this zipper to this zipper. Like you can lock them together like that. So, and look at this, my little evil eye that I got in Greece, because the Greeks wear an evil eye to protect against the evil eye. Don't ask. I make it up. My ancestors did. That's another big thing that you need to be aware of. But the metro would be the cheapest way to go. I have not done the metro. Annie and Kristen did do the metro. We had taken taxis, and we also had our hotel Airbnb people arrange a driver for us. And when you come out in Athens, they're standing there with your name on a card. It's really easy to find the driver. They find you very easily. So that's my favorite way to go. It might be a little bit more expensive that way. So if you're on a budget, just be very careful on the metro. And then obviously, most of the time you're in Athens, you're going to be on foot unless you're going, down to like National Archaeology Museum, stuff like that. And we did do that, which was super cool to see all those. Oh my gosh, that stuff from the history, So that was that. When you're in restaurants, they call them tavernas there. When you're in the restaurants, when I went in 2019, you weren't really expected to tip. I feel like it's turned into you are expected to tip, especially as Americans. They know we tip. They expect us to tip. It changed after COVID, I feel like, because now when they take the credit card, they're asking you, would you like to add a tip? Like, where to sign it in. So you can use your credit cards there. Actually do recommend using your credit cards there. Sometimes the taxi drivers will try to get you to pay cash, but by law, they are supposed to take cards. Because remember years ago when Greece went broke? Well, because all these business owners, you can't really blame them, but they were pocketing the cash and not paying their full taxes, and then the country winds up running out of money. So that's one of those reasons why you really should go ahead and use your card. It helps support the economy as well. But as far as tips go, I like to leave like €5 on the table. Whatever we bought, €5, on the table, cash for tips, because that seems more reasonable to give them their tip in cash. So you don't need to get a lot of money when you go to Greece. You really should use your credit cards. It's safer as well. But don't forget to tell your credit card company if they require it that you'll be traveling. Otherwise, you're going to get declined, which has happened to me before. Also, you can get a hold of your bank before you leave. Like I bank with Bank of America. And so I just go online and I order euros. So I ordered like 200 euros to start out with to have on me when I got there for tipping and whatever, small purchases, bottle of water, whatever, because you don't want to drink the tap water. They say you can in Athens, but my stomach is just way too sensitive to drink tap water anywhere than not even at home. So the bottled water in Greece is very reasonably priced. So I just bought bottled water everywhere I went, all day long, every day. Just bottle. They're like $1. They're like €1 or 50 cents. I think they're 50 cents. 50, yeah, half a euro. That's what you want to do. I'm on this message board. In fact, go there because it is a great message board on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, Matt Barrett, Facebook group. He is a Greek and he has so much set up for Greece. Let me show you on my phone. Matt Barrett's Greece travel guide. Okay. And he has so much information and a lot of people on there post their pictures of their trip and everything. And he has a lot of links where he can get a small commission because he just has a wealth of information. It's truly worth going on his website. He's a wealth of information. He has travel guides. He has all the hotels. He has all the islands. Everything you would need to know about Greece is on his website. But I like going to his Facebook group and then it links into his website as well. And then you can add your 2 cents too after you do Greece. So when you're in Greece, your electronics are not going to work. The outlets are completely different. So you'll need an adapter like this. So this plugs in our US plugs right in here, but you plug this into their outlet and then you have the adapter so you can use their electricity. But see how they're rounded? They're different than our US ones. And then they have a little one for something like there's a prong that comes out of the wall and these go in. And ours are like 3 that go in. So get one of these. I got the link for that as well. And then this one also has like the USB port. And there's probably some with the USB-C, the one with the iPhone one as well. So these are really important to have. You can't use regular appliances there. Like your regular blow dryer is probably too strong, but I did buy one and I can link that as well. A blow dryer that works with their voltage there. So that would be great. So I know there's so much more. I'm going to have to do a part 2 on this as things come back into my head, but I think this is long enough for now. And I just want you to know I love making these videos. I started this channel because I want to share the magic of Greece with others, especially those who may not know where to start in planning the trip. I had to ask so many questions and do so much research in the beginning. So it's really nice to get these tips. So whether it's your first time or your 10th time, there's always something new to discover. And don't worry, because in 2025, I'm going back. We are going to go to the Ionian side of Greece again. I want to go to Corfu and I want to go to Italy. We're going to do the other side of Greece and we're going to also go to Tuscany and Rome in Italy. That's a plan for right now. So stick around, subscribe, and also I live in a travel destination. So I like to try to get some videos out where I live in California. So if you stick around, you might learn something and become part of this community because we have a great community. I have another channel. It's a true crime channel, and a lot of my community from there hangs out over here as well. And they're wonderful people, as you are. So thank you, my friends. It is great to be able to share this information with you. And as an empty nester, I just want to say, remember, my friends, life is an adventure, even beyond the empty nest. I'm Kathy Brooks. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll be back soon. Bye-bye.